What's filling your mind these days? Are you filled with anxiety, with fears? Are you stressed from your work and you can't seem to get away from negative thoughts? Or are you filled with bitterness and anger? This verse can change your life. It's the greatest antidote for an unhappy life. It's the greatest antidote for sin. Listen, I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Look at the key verb of this verse, hidden. Some translations use the word stored. Another translation uses the word treasure. I think that's my favorite. I never get tired of giving this message. It's simply put, I store your word, I memorize it, and I meditate on it. I keep it in my heart. You know, we read the Bible, but so often it goes in one ear and quickly goes out the other. But when you work at memorizing a verse, it will go from your head to your heart, and you will be changed by it. It will change the habits of your thinking. And when God's word is in your heart, you have a ready resource to help you when you're faced with decisions of questions. Is this right or is this wrong? It says, I've stored your word so that I will not sin against you. You will have a weapon to fight against those temptations to sin. And you will have a powerful counselor who whispers to you, this is the way to go. Your spiritual growth will amaze you. And remember all that anxiety and stress and anger, your emotional health will flourish. How do I know that? The context of this verse is in Psalm 119, and look at verse 1. Blessed are those whose way is blameless. Blessed means happiness. Blameless means walking in God's way. Verse 9 of this psalm asks a very important question. How can a young man keep his way pure? The answer's there. By guarding it according to your word. With my whole heart I seek you. Let me not wander from your commandments. I have stored up your word in my heart that I may not sin against you. So the whole context of this verse 11, our great antidote, is about living a life of purity. You can see we're in a battle zone. This psalmist does not want to sin against God, and we don't either, really. We both should have a desire to please God because he loves us so much. And his plan is to make you beautiful. If you're struggling, maybe it's because the world's words are living in your heart and not so much God's word. The other day, I totally failed this test. I was full of some anxiety and stress because I felt like I had made a decision. It was the wrong decision, and I couldn't even sleep, and I felt sick to my stomach. And then I realized that for the last few days, I had not been memorizing, meditating, spending enough time in God's word. And so I had wandered a little bit, and I had begun to doubt and believe the lies of Satan that I was worthless, a failure. We need to value God's word. It's the perfect medicine for your heart. It's going to take effort, but you can do it. Anyone can do it. You might want to watch some of my other videos that talk about how to memorize, how to meditate. Jerry Bridges was a navigator administrator, and he wrote a book called The Pursuit of Holiness. He says, the pursuit of holiness is a joint venture between God and the Christian. No one can attain any degree of holiness without God working in his life. But just as surely, No one will attain it without effort on his own part. I see verse 10 as stating that in this way. With my whole heart I seek you. Let me not wander from your commandment. Let me seek God with my whole heart, and then let God help me not to wander. I need to be convinced that this is true. Here's my RX for joy. Remember this. You fight for what you treasure. Hide God's word in your heart. Pray for a faithful heart that truly desires to love God.